"Poor people look disgusting. I don't want to see you," said the woman in the manager position to me. The next day, when she fell to her knees at the shareholders' meeting, she learned who I really was, the owner of 90% of the company's shares. My name is Marcus Thompson. I'm 39 years old and seemingly an ordinary office worker. But my real story is very different. This story is a perfect example of how arrogance and prejudice can lead to a major disaster. It all started on that cold Monday morning. I had arrived at the office early as usual, got my coffee and sat at my desk. That's when department manager Victoria Sterling approached me. Victoria had joined our company 6 months ago, had a prestigious MBA degree, and constantly wore expensive clothes. "Marcus," she said with that familiar condescending tone in her voice, "archive these files, and don't forget, arrange them alphabetically. It's a job even someone with a high school diploma can do." I had been hearing these kinds of comments for 6 months, but this time she went even further. "Actually," she continued, looking around to make sure other employees could hear, "poor people look disgusting. I don't want to see you. This company isn't for uneducated people like you." Everyone in the office turned to look. Some bowed their heads in shame, while others pretended not to hear what Victoria was saying, but I remained calm and smiled. "I understand, Victoria. You're right, worthless people should be fired," I said calmly. Victoria was a bit surprised by my response but quickly recovered. "Finally you understand. There's a shareholders meeting tomorrow," I interrupted her. "Some important decisions will be made there." Victoria laughed mockingly. "A shareholders meeting doesn't concern simple workers like you. These meetings are for people like us. When tomorrow came, everything would change." My story actually started 15 years ago. My father, William Thompson, had founded a small software company in the tech sector. This company, called Tech Vision Solutions, had started with 2 people in my father's garage. I was in my senior year of university at the time. I was studying computer engineering, but wasn't very interested in my father's business. I was planning to work at much bigger companies, maybe even go abroad. My father, however, was working day and night to bring the company to a point where I could take it over. "Son," he would say, "this company will be very big one day. When you're ready, I'll hand it over to you." But life had other plans. When my father suddenly passed away from a heart attack, the company was left to me. At 24, inexperienced, and with no idea how to run the company, I turned to Benjamin Parker, the company's most senior employee. Benjamin was my father's closest friend and had been there since the company was founded. "Marcus," he had said to me, "you're too young, you can't handle this responsibility yet. Let me temporarily take over as president while you learn the company. Of course the shares are yours, but let the management be with me." This made sense to me. Benjamin was experienced, my father trusted him, so I started working as an ordinary employee to learn the company from the inside. Years passed and the company grew. It went from being a small software company to becoming one of the biggest tech firms in the city. But I was still working as Marcus, the IT specialist. Benjamin constantly told me, "You're not ready yet. Gain a bit more experience, then we'll talk." During this process, the company was registered as 90% mine and 10% Benjamin's, but everyone knew Benjamin was the CEO. I was seen as just an ordinary person working in the IT department within the company. When Victoria Sterling joined the company 6 months ago, everything began to change. Victoria was an experienced manager with an MBA degree from the prestigious Wharton Business School, who had worked at 3 different Fortune 500 companies. When Benjamin hired her as department manager, Victoria immediately tried to understand the hierarchy in the office. She learned that Benjamin was the CEO, that some employees were university graduates, while others only had high school diplomas. I had been introduced to her as a high school graduate. I don't know why Benjamin did this. Maybe he was really trying to protect me, or maybe he wanted to strengthen his own position. From day one, Victoria began classifying people according to their education level. She showed respect to university graduates but looked down on high school graduates. "We need to raise quality standards in this company," she had said to Benjamin one day. "Low-educated employees are damaging the company's image." Benjamin had relayed these conversations to me. "Don't worry, Marcus," he had said. "You're different, but let's not let Victoria know for now." Months passed and Victoria's behavior got progressively worse. She constantly gave me small, humiliating tasks: file carrying, photocopying, bringing coffee. "Marcus," she would say loud enough for everyone to hear, "you can't understand complex tasks anyway. These kinds of simple tasks suit you." Other employees were uncomfortable with this situation but didn't stand up to Victoria. Because Victoria got along very well with Benjamin and had risen in Benjamin's eyes, Victoria's favorite saying was, "This company can only be successful with quality educated people. High school graduates are sabotage elements." What Victoria said to me that Monday morning was the last straw. "Poor people look disgusting. I don't want to see you." These words shocked not only me but everyone around. But I remained calm because I knew that everything would change the next day. That evening I called Benjamin. "Benjamin, I want to take over the presidency at tomorrow's shareholders meeting," I said. Benjamin was surprised. "Marcus, you're not ready yet. Maybe in a few years. I've been waiting for 15 years, Benjamin. 90% of the company is mine. It's time to exercise my rights." Benjamin remained silent. He knew I was legally right. "Okay," he finally said. "Let's talk at tomorrow's meeting." The next day I arrived at the company early in the morning, in my usual ordinary clothes, acting as if I worked in the IT department. When Victoria saw me, she immediately came over. "What are you doing here? Today is the shareholders meeting. Low-level workers like you shouldn't be here." "I need to attend the meeting," I said calmly. Victoria laughed angrily. "You attend the meeting? What do you understand about shares? Go do your job." At this time, other employees were also starting to arrive. They all saw how Victoria was treating me. "Victoria," I said again in a calm tone, "I need to be at this meeting." "Get out of here," Victoria shouted. "I'm going to call security." Just then Benjamin arrived. Victoria immediately changed her attitude. "Mr. Parker," she said with a smile, "Marcus is trying to attend the meeting. I was explaining to him that it wasn't appropriate." Benjamin looked at me, then turned to Victoria. "Victoria," he said seriously, "Marcus must attend this meeting, because he is what?" Victoria asked curiously. "He is the actual owner who holds 90% of this company's shares." The expression on Victoria's face is something I'll never forget. First shock, then disbelief, then fear. What do you mean?" she stammered. "Marcus Thompson is the son of William Thompson, the founder of this company. He had delegated the management to me, but the shares were always with him." Victoria looked at me, then at Benjamin, then at me again. Her legs began to tremble. But he's just a high school graduate," she mumbled. "Marcus is a computer engineering graduate from Stanford," Benjamin said, "but he preferred to keep his identity secret." Victoria's face turned white, her knees trembled, and she slowly sank to the ground. I didn't know," she stammered. When we moved to the meeting room, other managers and shareholders were there. Benjamin took the microphone. "Dear friends," he said, "today I'm going to make an important announcement. I'm handing over the CEO position that I've temporarily held for 15 years to Marcus Thompson, the real owner of our company." A wave of surprise spread through the room. Most people knew me, but only as an IT employee. I stood up and took the microphone. "Hello friends," I said. "I'm Marcus Thompson. I've been working with you for 15 years but under a different identity. Now it's time to reveal who I really am." I told my story. How my father founded the company. How I trusted Benjamin after his death. How I stayed as an ordinary employee to learn the company from the inside. "But now," I said, "it's time for me to manage the company. My first task will be some personnel changes." Victoria wasn't in the room at that time. She was still standing in the corridor in shock. After the meeting I called Victoria to my office. Yes, I now had my own office, the CEO office. When Victoria entered, she was still in shock. I gestured for her to sit. "Victoria," I said, "I've been working with you for 6 months. I've observed your behavior very closely." "Mr. Thompson," she began, but I silenced her. "I'm going to ask you a few questions. I hope you'll give honest answers." I pulled out a file from the desk. It contained copies of all of Victoria's emails. "In these emails, you've classified employees according to their education level. You've made a list called low-quality personnel. My name is at the top of this list." Victoria couldn't speak. "Also," I continued, "you've sent confidential information about our clients to your personal email address. This means disclosure of company secrets. During this time, you've humiliated employees, damaged company culture, and violated security." I opened another file on the desk. "These are also security camera recordings. You can be seen stealing money from the company safe last week." Victoria's face turned white. "I was just paying my debts." "Enough," I said. "I'm firing you immediately. I'm also going to report you to the police for theft." Victoria started crying. "Please forgive me, I didn't know you were—" "Victoria," I said, standing up, "your apology isn't sincere. You're only sorry because you got caught. If I had really been a poor employee, could I have gotten this apology?" Victoria couldn't answer. "Security will escort you out. Take your belongings and go." After Victoria's departure, I made major changes in the company. First, I implemented an equal respect policy for all employees. Regardless of education level, Everyone had the right to see the same respect. Second, we established a performance-based promotion system. Now not just diplomas but real job success would matter. Third, I implemented a zero-tolerance policy regarding workplace bullying. If any employee humiliated another employee, they would be immediately fired. Benjamin continued to help me. "I'm sorry, Marcus," he had said, "for making you wait so long." "No problem, Benjamin," I had said. "This experience taught me a lot. Now I see the company through the employee's eyes." 6 months later, our company's employee satisfaction rate rose to 95%. Productivity increased. Employee turnover decreased. Victoria was convicted of theft after court and received a ban from working in the sector. Last I heard, she's trying to work in another city, in another sector. This story taught me a lot. I saw how wrong it is to judge people based on appearance, education level, or social status. Victoria had found me poor and disgusting. But real disgust was in humiliating others, stealing and lying. Today our company is one of the most successful firms in the sector, and most importantly, all our employees feel valued, because real value is hidden in character, not in diplomas, and character is something displayed in front of everyone, every day. I'll never forget that moment when Victoria fell to her knees, but that moment didn't remind me of victory, it reminded me of how fragile humanity can be. Now every morning when I come to the office, I greet all my employees with equal respect, because I know that real power isn't in looking down on others, but in lifting them up. And this story ends here. But what it taught will last forever.